Thank you for attending. Welcome, everyone. So we are going ahead and recording the meeting. So we're going to start off by either voting or doing consent to decide who will be the chair of this meeting, because both the chair and vice chair are absent. So do you want to vote, or would you just like to do a consent?
Consent.
What does that mean?
Just means you can.
Unanimous, like
sure.
you decide
Okay.
to, somebody. You go ahead and.
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah.
If you.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, great. So would the chair like to call the meeting?
Yes, at 7:21, I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. Let's take a look at agenda item 1, which is last month's minutes.
Would the chair like me to call roll call?
Oh, yes, that'd be great. Thank you.
Chair Emma,
Here.
Commissioner Mukesh,
Okay.
Commissioner Balaram. And we have Chair Beer and Vice Chair Kumar absent.
All right. Now we will move to the approval of the minutes. Thank you, Terry.
Okay.
Cool. This is, all right. I will just propose a motion to approve it as is then.
Okay.
And I still need a second. I need a second on that motion.
Yes.
Okay. And then Terry, would you call for a vote?
Oh, do I need for a vote?
I don't know, I think so. Aye.
Okay.
For approving the.
Yeah,
The minutes?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
it'll pass unanimously. Okay.
Okay.
That's why Tommy's here today.
So we don't have any oral communications or written communication.
Okay. Let's discuss the order that we want to do the agenda items really quickly, because I figure since Tommy hasn't come all the way here, we should let him do his presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's agenda item
It is the
one.
first
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. But or do any of these have to wait? I guess we can do all of these in the end.
I think you
So,
can.
okay, we'll be all right then. Okay.
All right. I mean, you're us.
Right, 1 second. All right, good evening, commissioners. Tommy, you IT infrastructure manager for the city of Cupertino. I'm here tonight to give a brief presentation on infrastructure division to highlight what our division does and our day-to-day responsibilities. And so I'll go ahead and get started with my presentation. So the infrastructure team, our division, we provide for all technology related support for citywide management of information technology services. And we'll go into detail shortly. That's like all the hardware, software licenses, et cetera. You'll see here our team, we have one IT manager, myself. We have one business systems analyst and 2 network specialists, and basically 2 part-time interns. So these are full-time equivalent numbers. So 1 full-time manager, 1 full-time BSA, 2 full-time network specialists, and 1 full-time equivalent intern, but basically it's 2 part-time non-benefit staff. Oh, okay.
So that's the.
What do you mean by non-benefit?
It's just a part-time staff, the limited 1,000 hours a year, there's no
Okay.
benefits, it's just basically,
Get paid interns.
yeah, paid interns,
Paid
basically,
interns.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll see here's our team. So Jose Antoine, our network specialist, Quentin is our BSA, myself there as a manager, and we have our 2 interns, Kim and April. So this is our infrastructure team supporting the entire city in terms of infrastructure. slide here. This is just some highlights of, you may have seen this before, but our team in action. We have a staff installing security cameras on city facilities. In the past cybersecurity event, I spoke at other wireless access points for providing free Wi-Fi at the parks. You'll see in the bottom left corner, just is installing the hardware there. The bottom middle piece, that's just kind of our network map, just highlighting our what we do, and we monitor any kind of a suspicious network traffic, making sure our core systems are up. If there's any issues with our networking on different sites, and you'll see just more highlights of our staff doing kind of more promotion or presentation items there.
Do you mind if I just move over there?
Sure. Yeah.
It seems like we are interviewing about.
So, and then, so just to go into more about the kind of core offerings of the infrastructure division, kind of the main four buckets covers most of the items. There might be some other things that we do, but primarily help desk, customer service for our staff, for our residents, all system and network administration. So that's like servers and networking connectivity for our sites, security, cybersecurity. So we're responsible for certain things like, security cameras, the training that you all get in terms of cybersecurity and just keeping our networks safe and secure from outside.
So both physical and IT.
Partially. So we partner with the Public Works Department. They kind of oversee certain other functions such as like building access, facility access, badge readers, but like for as far as network security cameras, that's infrastructure division is responsible.
Did you mention we have free Wi-Fi in the parks and those stuff?
Some of our parks, yes.
Some of the
we have Wi-Fi.
But people have
And
to
these
log
are
in.
unsecured, I'm sure.
Basically, there's guest networks there.
Yes, no.
As more facilities you log in, there's a terms of service you agree to and accept, and you can connect to Wi-Fi. So there are limited hours. So it's not like 24/7. It's for
Okay.
times when people are in the park, right? So I
Okay.
believe it's morning till, evening.
Okay.
And then the last item of the four cores is business continuity. So that primarily is, in a nutshell, in case there's a major disaster, we have, our backups and fail states to be able to continue providing critical core services. That could be anything from our enterprise resource planning, which, invoices and the payroll, things like that to keep operations running, be able to procure services and make payments and other, the bills, as well as, critical operations for different departments. So that's kind of what we're making sure the systems, we have redundancies in place for the areas. So the first, the four, help desk and customer service, a little bit more details about what that means. So onboarding and offboarding employees as they come, in and out, equipment, getting their account set up, retrieval equipment for employees who've left. So that's kind of all part of our team. We provide frontline support, respond to help desk tickets. We're on call after hours for any emergencies. So our team, we have some of our staff, we do a rotation. So there's always someone on standby in case there is emergency after hours and on weekends for any critical events that occur that staff needs help with. We all are also responsible for inventory control. We do tech refreshes of, our laptops and other equipment in the city. There's a life cycle that we define for replacement. So that's be laptops, workstations, monitors, networking equipment, all miscellaneous printers. We kind of manage that, including accessories. When someone needs a new mouse or keyboard, it fails, we're all part of that. And related to that, just kind of the moves, adds, and changes. Sometimes there's, staff relocating, there's changes on office space. We need to prep, maybe there's some other office for a new staff member or relocation. We're all involved in that, making sure there's working close with Public Works, that there's power available, there's network connections, they can do their job in that new space or a desk or that sort, including any kind of upgrades or changes. And the last portion of this is, again, of course, the phone system support. The phone numbers we have for the public, you see on the website, people call in to say the permit center, business licenses, et cetera, the city manager's office. We kind of support the phone system involving that. There's what's called like hunt groups, call routing. So that way there might be multiple people on a team in case someone's unavailable, or kind of rotates. The next person on that team will be able to answer the call for a residents or whoever is calling.
What are hunt groups?
It's basically just a kind of fancy way. There's a group that helps with call routing. So you can kind of go to specific divisions and it routes to the next person.
Oh,
And you can also find specific groups where, that you're looking for, depending on a department, right? Like you have public works and you have sub, divisions within, you're trying to find the right resource.
It's typically for the public, trying
Yeah.
to find the right.
Exactly, that's where
resource
public
coming
call in, yeah.
I was
They go to one
thinking,
main line and then it.
how is that different than call routing?
It's just two terms, it's kind of, we just listed out there as a kind of slightly different features.
Okay.
It's all kind of interrelated.
So do you also support the infrastructure for your 311 app?
So,
Or
No.
that is
Terry can talk
completely
about that.
311 is an application, like a SaaS application.
That's on the
So
cloud.
that's managed by the GIS group.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so a lot of what we'll talk about, the infrastructure is what, so my team covers is more like the core services, like your computer, the Windows operating system, any kind of a service we have, in-house in our data center. And versus, what Terry mentioned, like we have certain applications are on the cloud, that's more of a, the third-party vendor, a solution that's more our responsibility in that sense is more just making sure we have, internet connectivity so we can reach those services for our staff and residents, and I guess in that
So,
sense.
so all the network equipment and the compute infrastructure, that is.
That's what infrastructure does, yeah, or on city property premises.
And the one that you are hosting in the cloud, that is also governed by you, or that is depending on?
We have certain services in the cloud, some are completely off a third party, and some we do control, manage on our side. So we do have some servers on the cloud and on various vendors.
That is also part of infrastructure.
Infrastructure, yeah, we help in with that security, manage and maintenance.
Okay.
So that's where we still have the control versus in some cases completely outsourced to a third party.
Okay.
What about the city extranet? The city website?
The city website, the public website? Yeah, that's outsourced to a
That's
company.
hosted as
Yeah, it's
well.
hosted, yeah. So we have access to, it's cloud-based, right? Staff have access to go in, content editors make changes to pages but the applications team will be able to talk more about
They,
that.
they can, update CSS, the look and feel, certain things, but it's hosted outside of.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be something that infrastructure touches. It's all on the cloud and
And how about the fiber infrastructure that you have throughout the city? That is also part of your charter?
yeah, so if there's any, issues, we have, partners and we work with, our team to kind of resolve any issues. So yeah.
But we don't physically go out.
No, yeah.
We have, people
No,
go out, yeah.
it's just, it is under your
Responsibility in a
Yes.
sense, yes.
responsibility.
Yes.
What is the fiber infrastructure for? What type of communication?
When all the facilities, they are connected.
Yeah, it's connected, right? So we need to, for internal, like, sharing of, documents or connections, transfer.
Even Woodland Center, I think you have a fiber drop here.
Yeah.
So all
For
facilities
like
are.
mostly emergency management.
Yeah, communications and other things like the phone
There's a
system.
really nice network diagram available.
Okay.
Yeah, we can probably find that and, provide that to you at your time. Moving on to the next slide here, just kind of our, Claire, one of the main things we do is help desk services, right? So this is just a highlight of the tickets that we closed in the past couple of years. You'll see kind of been up and down. A lot that's contributed to, we had some vacancies in our staff. So we see 2023, we had kind of 2 vacancies at different parts of the year. So it kind of went down and now we're kind of leveling off a more normal position. Now we have 2 interns that kind of help out recently. So it's just kind of helping out with, tickets and everyday operational tasks that come up. So this is just kind of seeing the workload and number of tickets we have, average about 270 a month. So
270 everyone.
yeah.
And these are mostly the request, hey, I need so and so
Yeah, or my computer isn't
computer,
working.
yeah.
Some of that also includes Public Records Act requests, so my team is also responsible for that.
Oh.
I like that, so when we'd have to do any kind of email searches, an email system, that's our team manages that. So some of these numbers may be PR email requests.
They also troubleshoot a lot of, like Office 365, OneDrive issues, SharePoint.
Right, yeah.
uh,
With the
even
365 cloud.
Teams.
Exactly, yeah, Teams and just whole.
Mostly for employees.
This is for internal service desk for employees, yeah. And then moving on to our next section, net system and network administration. So kind of mentioned like, email system accounts that we create for staff or commissioners or council. We do a lot of network monitoring. We have alerts set up for any kind of, down outages, any kind of suspicious activity. We manage the Wi-Fi for staff and guests at city facilities, as we mentioned, like, there's Wi-Fi in the parks. So if there's any issues, that's where our team is responsible for, making sure to get it back up and running, for connectivity throughout the different sites.
So what kind of security do you have for your internet infrastructure? That is a bit of my curiosity. Because these days you hear, hey, so and so city got impacted.
Sure, yeah. So I can't go into too much details, but I can assure you that we are on top of that. We have, the strong encryptions. There's a lot of isolated segments, what's called the VLANs, virtual LANs, where it's segmented out. So if there is any kind of issue on one segment, we can quickly isolate that. It doesn't affect like staff or city network traffic. It's all completely separate. Like, so the, like the guest Wi-Fi, the city, we have, there's Wi-Fi for employees, right? It's a separate. So all that's controlled and monitored by our side. We have visibility on any issues that come up. We have, I'll talk about, shortly when we get to the security section about
Okay,
more about.
let's talk at that time. Yeah.
But just kind of the core, servers and networking side, moving on, the local area network LAN, so that's like the firewall servers or, primarily Windows with Active Directory. This is just mainly more, management of users' accounts, how we, define permissions, print servers, creating the printers. We have SQL databases for certain applications that we host and we manage on site. And then moving on to, wide area network, like we were talking about the fiber and the connectivity of different sites. That's where we have certain services in our data center. So all different sites can connect to basically like HQ or the city hall data center access certain resources and services, right? So that's kind of a subset of some services. Again, as we talked about earlier, some of are on the cloud or a SaaS solution, but others are, in our data center which requires this connectivity. And of course, we, as many other companies, we have VPN services, right? That's we support telework, remote access. Staff are able to securely connect to the city network from remotely, be able to access certain resources and perform certain tasks. And the last item here is kind of, again, backup and recovery of critical data systems, making sure that we have working backups in case there is any kind of major outage or some cyber attack, ransomware. We're able to quickly recover, get back to operations, going to that business continuity theme we mentioned. So that's kind of sums up this section here. All right, so this is just a little inventory at a glance. We have equipment and services at least around 14 locations. It might actually be a little more, two more, but primarily 14 locations. We have over 1,600 pieces of equipment that we support. So it's mostly, we count that, the copiers, phones, monitors, cameras, firewalls, routers, workstations, city cell phones. We have credit card machines for, point of sale systems. And then related to that, we manage the licenses and support agreements for a lot of these equipment, right? There's ongoing support, requiring services for, security updates, support plans. So that's all part of the infrastructure team. All right, security. So kind of the main areas here, like endpoint protection, which basically, your kind of antivirus on your computer, right? Like you have your software. So same thing for the city, all our computers, we have, endpoint protection or antivirus scans, also for malware, spyware. We have firewalls to protect our internal network. So it's constantly, blocking, inspecting traffic that comes in and outbound. So we can make sure there's nothing suspicious or malicious that, gets through. Part of that helps with that is what's called the MDR, Managed Detection Response. We have partners and other vendors that help us with this. So there's what's considered like a 24/7 SOC or security operations center. We have, our different various systems. We have logs that, logs like access attempts and intrusions. That's all those logs from different systems that gets funneled into a primary centralized security operations center. So that system and team is able to kind of alert us right away and be more proactive in terms of potential threats. Or it could be a false positive, but just mainly just getting more information versus, kind of the old school way where we have someone in IT just looking at the logs, opening like text files and reviewing stuff, or looking at a string versus we're able to real time ingest all these logs into a advanced system to give us that alerting capability.
Yeah, those are the systems I used to develop in my past.
Nice.
Right, and then
Security operation systems are.
exactly, and then we supplement that with other tools, right? We have a kind of an AI, artificial intelligence driven network traffic analysis that kind of combos together, works together, where it kind of actually can proactively block traffic when it seems something suspicious. So one example I can give you is if, say, it detects an employee or someone is like uploading a large amount of data, to the cloud, potential, exfiltration of data, it can block that right away automatically. Once it starts detecting a huge upload, like it's suspicious, it's not this user, that computer has never done that before, our system able to block that right away. And we put in our manual review, like, hey, is this legitimate? Or we need to continue blocking and do some more
Does
investigation.
that alert go to the SOC or does that alert?
So both, and the SOC sees it, we see it too as well. So kind of multiple teams, but finally for that one, our team was first response on that. So we're able to respond quickly. We can reach out to the staff involved. Is this legitimate? Is this, what did you do? And then kind of investigate through there.
Is this SOC specialized towards city securities or is it a general enterprise SOC?
So it's again, I can't go into too many details, but it's a partner we have. It's outsourced SOC, and we work together closely with them to kind of manage the overall security of the city.
Yeah, I mean, typically, are they specialized? Do they not have knowledge about management of cities or is it
Yeah.
just
they
any
do.
enterprise IT SOC?
Yeah, enterprise as well. I can say they do have a lot of government clients, so
Government.
they're very familiar with our level or what we do in operations wise. And then, of course, as you know, with our ongoing phishing campaign, security training, that's just one piece of it. Just making sure we have phishing simulations that we sent out, and making sure that people don't click on things when they kind of get remedial training, and we kind of work with them to make sure they understand why this was a phishing email. I shouldn't have clicked on that link. So just ongoing.
I mean, it clearly says that this did not originate from the city.
Right. But it's an ongoing battle that every agency and organization have, where we just had to.
Yeah, I received quite a few emails, just to check whether I click.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from city.
Yeah, these are the simulations. We're basically testing our
We
users.
test everyone, so.
Yeah, we test everyone.
How can you tell it came from the city?
No, because they respond later on. If I mark it as a phishing email, then it say, hey, you figured it out correctly.
Oh, you're supposed to do that if you get
Yeah,
any?
You can, or I mean, a lot of people just ignore it, which is also
Just
good.
ignore.
As long as you don't click on it or reply back, and then
Yeah.
you're probably fine. But yeah, if you do,
Then you need to attend.
yeah, then you'll get more training.
I just ignored
We
it.
get a lot of commissioners.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's just ongoing security.
But on the other hand, some of the emails that we get, for example, for authentication, they're marked as coming from outside the city.
Yes.
That's what confused me. Maybe we need to look at that, right? We shouldn't be marking that because now I'm in a dilemma. Should I click on this or should I not click on this?
Yeah, that's always been a challenge, and I think what we've been trying to do more is if there is a legitimate email that goes out, and the one I think in mind is like certain like training, not security related training, but maybe commissioner training or other sites like their bar training that what we've been doing in the past is giving a heads up to the staff commissioners, this is legitimate, but because it's coming from a third party site, but it's a trusted site, so those are the little nuance there we'll have to look out for. But yeah, I mean, we won't remove the banner from those because it's not coming from us. It's from a third party source. So it's just more about the ongoing training to make sure people are aware of like what's legitimate or not, to looking for those signs, right? But yeah, just ongoing training. And the last piece here is, as you know, with your multi-factor authentication, mobile device management. So MFA, you are all familiar with, where it just, as you know, it's something you have and something you know. So you something you know is your password. Something you have is a code or prompt, like you're doing most MFA authentication. So that's just the two-factor to make sure you're secure log onto the city email resources. And then mobile device management is more for the staff side when we have city cell phones and iPads and other tablets. We're able to manage those devices, and we can do a bunch of administration from our side to kind of better control and manage those in case anything malicious, or if it gets lost or stolen, where we have the ability to be able to retrieve those and track them.
So what about the desktop, the laptop computers? You install MDM on?
Yeah, so it's all being managed. Yeah. Right. So the last section here, business continuity. So incident response, so that's, our team, if there is any kind of a breach, an outage, ransomware, we have,
Have we had any attacks in the past?
not that I'm aware of, not since I've been here, but yeah, not to my knowledge in the past. What has happened, is more isolated cases, maybe one computer got, infected with something, but it's quickly remediated, but nothing where it's spread and, took out the entire network. So that's happens all the time, if someone gets something malicious. Primarily our endpoint security, our antivirus, that all kind of blocks, quarantines, everything, so we have really great tools that covers that. But yeah, for incidents that do happen, this is more like a wide scale. If, say, you have entire sites down, it's spread throughout the city. So our team is responsible for kind of doing that initial investigation. If we need to further quarantine, bring systems offline, kind of minimizing the spread. We work for our, partners. If we need to engage our cybersecurity liability insurance, we have a bunch of resources that are part of a plan we follow to be able to kind of remediate and respond. And so that's kind of more the cyber side. Disaster recovery, that's more in case of, say, a hardware or natural disaster, earthquake, power outage. Say our data center here completely gets wiped out. So we do have a disaster recovery site out of state in that location that we do have critical data and services backed up, so we can quickly activate that to get services back up. So when I was talking about earlier about business continuity, getting like 4 systems back up, that's for having a separate secondary data center out of the area, right? That's won't be affected by any natural disasters or, fire, earthquake, et cetera. It's a completely different location.
It must be a cloud-based,
It's basically, yeah, it's in the data center, so offsite, so we can access that through through our fiber, as long as I have internet connection, we'll be able to access those services. So the really key is to get services back online for the city and whatever critical services for residents that rely on internal side. But as time goes on, we're trying to look into moving offset more to the cloud, to SaaS applications, because kind of a spread and mitigate the risk, right? Because in those cases, we just need to worry about internet connection so we can get to our service versus whether we're about, rebuilding servers or, network equipment on site or other issues that might happen based on.
but do we have servers for the city?
I'm sorry?
I mean, I thought everything was on the cloud.
No, we're mixed. We're like a hybrid. So certain applications are on premises, some are on cloud.
Oh.
So we're hope is slowly moving more to the cloud just to kind of reduce the risk. And
In case of disaster recovery, I remember in the previous, probably 2 years ago or 3 years ago when we had this presentation,
okay,
we have a backup site in Arizona. Is that
yes,
still? Okay.
yeah, it's out state, yes. So that's where it's completely out of the kind of danger zone, right? For again,
And-
fire, flood, earthquake, et cetera. So,
Okay.
and let's see, yeah.
And how often do we take the backup?
Oh, we have daily backups.
Daily backup, okay.
And related to that theme, it's just redundancy, right? So we have certain systems where if it's down, we have another one that's able to quickly pick up and then kind of get up and back and running, as well as the redundancy and mentioned in the DR site, right?
Okay.
So that's just kind of key things we look for when we build out our systems or any kind of, things we host on premises. We look at what kind of redundancy options we have. Because when you move to the cloud, that's kind of the on-that providers, usually they have their own, disaster recovery response plans. And typically what I've seen in for SaaS applications, they have their own data centers, they have their backups, and we're basically just doing the same thing on our side to make sure we have that redundancy.
Um, may I know how often you refresh the servers, mission critical servers?
Mission critical right now, our lifespan, our tech refresh for servers, I can say is about 7 years.
7 years?
And then, yeah.
I mean, redundancy is to what systems? Because you have disaster recovery for all the systems, right? I'm assuming disaster recovery is a manual switch.
So some of it's automated, some is manual, depends on the criticality of the application or service. So it's, it would be, I guess, be honest, like cost prohibitive to have completely automatic for everything. Because we focus on the core services that the city can use as emergencies. We need to get this up ASAP versus other ones we can wait, right? So there's different levels of how critical this application is and
Right.
our policies and plans regarding that, and what's kind of like the recovery time or time back to operation. So that's kind of our part of our, what's kind of what segues into our next item here is just policies, plans, procedures. Kind of we define all those and, you know, what we follow and what we try to achieve in terms of recovery or uptime in terms of restoration of services. And the last item here is really just what we're working on more is kind of cyber resilience. So just internally, what's considered like tabletop exercises. We have simulated incidents. Like the city did one a few years ago. We're trying to prep another, you know, exercise where basically we simulate or potentially simulate, like I say, a ransomware attack. What do we do? Making sure the team and other staff and other departments know what to do in terms of business continuity if they need to enact whatever plans they have for their departments in terms of making sure we still are able to provide services to our residents and to our staff. So we work closely with the departments on kind of hopefully do another one soon on these exercises. All right, and I just want to highlight here, this is just kind of the training certifications that our team has, you know, gone through. You'll see there's certifications from major technology vendors, security vendors like Microsoft, also Networks, Cisco, VMware, CompTIA, which is the, you know, Computing Technology Industry Association. I do want to highlight what's rare for our city for the IT department. So on the bottom left here, you see the Certified Government Chief Information Officer program. So that's a certification. It's a 12-month program, partner of Rutgers University. And for us in the city of Cupertino, our entire IT leadership all have CCIO. So myself, Terry, our CTO, our applications manager, Nitty, we all three of us have this. So I just want to highlight that because that's actually rare for any government agency to have more than one. So we're kind of unique as far as I know in the Bay Area that we have three.
May I know what is special about this Public Technology Institute?
Yeah, so it's a nonprofit organization. They work with, as I mentioned, Rutgers University. They create a curriculum as a 12-month program to kind of help IT leadership and managers, directors, CIOs to look at all the issues in government IT, like the threats, the landscape, just topics about AI, pretty much everything that's emerging technology. So we have better awareness and moving forward and kind of help the city and government, you know, provide better, you know, services, deliver services to residents and what we should be looking at for. A lot of case studies about what other agencies have done, what we can adapt and learn and, you know, continue on.
Is this some kind of an online?
It's a hybrid online and in person. It's a year-long program. So
Okay.
very well familiar with it as
Do
well.
you have a Scrum process here?
So I'll talk about that shortly, but just going through some other highlights. You know, we have a certification from IT Infrastructure Library. We have you know, project management professionals, you know, certified managers. But yeah, recently, you know, for myself, I can say I recently got the CSM, which is Certified Scrum Master. So I'm slowly starting to implement that in our teams. You know, the agile methodology might be in project management. So we're working together. Hopefully, we'll try to, you know, with PMP. I know we have another member of our department, another team that also recently got their PMP. So we're trying to work together to kind of bring more of a, you know, project management, you know, that mindset and methodologies to kind of make sure we're on the right track and improving our process internally. So this is just kind of our ongoing commitment to kind of continue training best practices and making sure we're being efficient in our work.
Perfect.
Right. And almost near the end of the slide here, just kind of resources and best practice that we also follow. So we partner and communicate, work with a lot of different agencies. So here I'll highlight the CISA, which is Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency. They're part of the Department of Homeland Security. So we subscribe to a lot of their services. They send out a lot of alerts. You know, there's once all those meetings and a lot of best practices that they push out, as well as some of the other ones here. NIST, you know, the National Institute of Standards Technology. There are certain security frameworks and policies we try to follow to make sure we hit in terms of our configuring our, you know, workstations and servers and certain standards that we're trying to achieve. And NICRIC, which is the Northern California Regional Intelligence Center. So that's kind of more on the security side when there's any kind of cyber threats or criminal that may affect government. We're kind of up to date on any alerts or, you know, that come out. So we're all kind of connected, variety of different sources. This is, you know, basically in that sense. And then the last couple items here, just MISAC. So this is the Municipal Information Systems Association of California. That's basically like a association for government agencies throughout the state of California. There's about 400 agencies as part of this. There's separate between Northern, Central, and Southern chapter, but we have annual conferences. Tara and myself are going to conference. We have an annual conference in October, I believe, in San Diego. But basically, it's a way to kind of network with other agencies, IT departments, kind of see what they're doing, any best practices. There's seminars and classes that share a lot of information sharing, so that we're always, we have resources and help. We're not doing all this alone. We kind of learn from each other. And so that's kind of been a great resource for our department. And the last one I'll mention is MSI-SAC, which is part of the Center for Internet Security. They have to do a lot of analysis of, bad actors and malicious network traffic, and we get a lot of information from them as well. They get like a weekly list of, IP addresses to block because of these known malicious actors. So it kind of keeps us up to date. We're constantly, blocking and adding other,
Is that for the firewall or is that?
Yeah, so basically we add, there's known malicious activities from certain IP addresses. We add that to our firewall based on what they send to us and what information we can get from these different sources. So anyway, constantly adding and updating to making sure we're on top of things. Okay. And really quickly, just kind of some recent project accomplishments. We did recently a data center tech refresh for both our data centers. So that's replacing all the servers and storage there. We've made some email security enhancements recently just to kind of help cut down on the spam, giving us more tools internally to be able to block things. For example, if someone sends a malicious email to like everyone's in the city and they kind of got through our initial security screens, we have the tools to be able to quickly delete all the emails really quickly. We can program, hey, every email that came from this address, just block and delete it from everybody's inbox. So a lot of times the staff might not even see it, get alerted. We can wipe anything that does get through. We'll be able to get alerted. We can wipe it out.
Isn't that part, go ahead. Isn't that part of the email security? Do you use Proofpoint?
We use one of related, there's many different partners in that space, but yeah, that's part of the services where, some of it's automatic, some of it, it might be manual remediation. It sometimes relies on staff to, take action, right? But it's this combination.
Okay.
And then other things we've done, just policies, security updates, just kind of straightening, following again, those best practices from NIST, CIS, and constant improvement. It could be simple things like, having longer passwords and things like that.
I mean, Microsoft must be providing that option for the Outlook, right? For quarantine of emails.
Yeah, they have services as well. Yeah, I didn't realize. And just trying to wrap up here. So other things we've seen, like, our Cupertino.gov email address. We work closely with the applications team to make sure that, the Cupertino.gov website domain is, live when they refresh the website. And then ongoing cybersecurity assessments. We worked with a partner to create a framework that led to roadmap creation, basically just kind of helping us guide more clearly on what we need to hit to kind of be more in line on all the best practices. So just kind of more guidance on that line. And the last portion here is just, as the kind of updates on the Muni code for TIC that we worked on as part of our team. So 2 more slides, I think. Upcoming projects, we have a phone system that we need to migrate moving to the cloud.
Okay.
That's gonna be a big project for us. Some internal things, we're looking at a new help desk ticketing system. Yeah,
Can you
sure.
just give me a little bit more information? Is it going to be like directly on your laptop phone system? Or
So
still it is going to be a cradle based?
So we're trying to reduce the number of phones we have, because, these days we're seeing a lot of staff. So we have that capability now where they just call software and they can
Yeah,
take calls on their laptop.
exactly.
We don't have that on the mobile phone yet. So that's what the cloud-based solutions have, where you can have, in addition, you can have it on your phone, just one number,
Okay.
answer, or say the city line, right, from any device, either a physical traditional phone or laptop or like a city cell phone. So that's kind of where we're getting those extra features from moving to a more true cloud solution.
Right.
Yeah.
In companies, I mean, I'm talking about my company, nobody has desk phone anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody. Everything, it comes on your laptop.
Yeah. So we're looking into
Audio
we're reducing the phones. That saves on cost, right? Because we're finding a lot of staff, they just use their laptop, right? Have a headset and you're good to go. And they, for those who telework, they can answer calls. from, wherever. But yeah, that's upcoming. And just additional security enhancements. We have some, AWS cloud security services there that we're looking at security improvements, advanced patch management, so some.
What is this help desk ticketing system replacement?
So that's just a one item. That's, our current system. We're how we get tickets, incidents. We're just working on replacing that software. Or that's just a line item.
Oh, okay, so
It's an internal tool, yeah.
internal tool, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just basically showing what we're looking to work on in the future. So it may not be something that visible to, the public or to you. It's more internal.
Yeah,
Just,
okay.
it was just worth mentioning. And then just again, like kind of more the cloud security improvements of the services we do control. And then tech refresh, we're doing that right now, finishing up, as Windows 10 is end of life in October. But
Oh, really?
yeah, so if you have Windows 10 on your personal work computers, by October 14, 2025, there's no longer any security updates unless you pay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you want to make sure you have Windows 11 on your.
I think I still have Windows 10
Yeah, so make sure you
on my
don't.
home computers.
Yeah, so no more security updates unless,
Do that?
October 14th, I believe.
Uh,
Mid-October, yeah. And then there's some other, ongoing refreshes we do based on the life cycle, firewall switches, access points, and as I mentioned, tabletop exercise, so. Went through a lot of material, but one last opportunity here for any questions.
We have been asking questions.
Yeah, I know. If there's any more you can think of, I'm happy to answer. But that
Great.
concludes my presentation.
Thank you. This is awesome.
thank you, Tom.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay, so next item.
Yeah, the next item is to discuss a commissioner for the Economic Development Committee. If I recall, they were asking for one commissioner from each commission.
Not all commissions, just certain,
I
Yeah.
see, from each in-scope commission.
yes.
Sorry.
Thanks, Tommy.
It being one of them.
Do either of you wish to do this?
Right, I would recommend.
Okay, I'll volunteer.
All right. I think we may need to take a
And
vote about this.
Yes.
Yes.
So I would like to make a motion to recommend Commissioner Dante to the council for for consideration for the Economic Development Committee.
And I second it.
It's unanimous. Okay, great.
you stated it, looks like
Yeah,
it
they
wasn't there
used to
before.
have one, but they
Yeah,
haven't for
it-
like 10 years.
Exactly. It
About,
hasn't been
about-
10 years. They had it during the beginning of COVID. I want to
yeah.
say.
It's only been 5 years.
Yeah,
It's
it's
been
5,
a
6
while,
years. It's
but-
been a while, yeah.
So I think February of 2020, they had it. And then they put it on shelf for whatever reason. That's what
Oh,
happened.
I can't imagine why in in March of 2020, they would have discontinued something.
So
Okay,
that's how.
So how does it work exactly? So each commission appoints a commissioner to that?
Not all
each,
commissions,
only
only certain commissions
Okay,
are selected to then appoint someone to this Economic Development Committee. And then there's also.
oh, it's a committee, it's not a commission.
yeah, well, committee,
Committee,
commission,
okay.
Committee.
Committee. And then they also have some outside, local, specific industry folks as well, like,
I recall it
real
has-
estate, commercial real estate person and, another IT person, but from,
Outside.
outside.
If I recall, it has to be a committee because you can't be a commissioner on two different things at
Okay.
once. So you are both a commissioner and a committee member.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Well, I think it's like,
Oh, yeah.
and council members are allowed to serve on committees.
Yes,
Yeah, you can't serve on two committees.
it's like the audit committee. We have two.
Okay,
Okay, so the next one is my item.
yes, let's do it.
Okay, so this is really just me giving you an update on where we are with digital accessibility compliance. So this is an important digital accessibility initiative currently underway. Public agencies have a legal and ethical responsibility to ensure that our digital content, so basically anything that we're putting out to the public, And services are available to people with disabilities, including individuals with visual, auditory, cognitive, or mobility impairments. The recognized technical standard for achieving this is the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG. And it's currently, we have to conform to the WCAG 2.1 at the level AA conformance. So these guidelines define how our web content should be designed and constructed to be usable by assistive technologies such as screen readers, navigable through alternative input methods like keyboard only use. So in April of last year, the U.S. Department of Justice issued a final rule that clarified and strengthened these requirements under the Americans with Disabilities Act, setting a compliance deadline of April 26th, so a little less than a year from now, for jurisdictions with populations over 50,000. So we just make that mark, including Cupertino. Non-compliance would.
They're up to how many?
Yeah, I think close to 58,000.
We're at 60.
We're at 60. Yeah. Non-compliance would expose the city to legal risk, reputational harm, and most importantly, leave residents unable to access vital information and services. So earlier this year, Cupertino, as you probably know, launched a new website. Right? We got rid of our old website and launched a new one, which took us about a year to do. It was a very long process after extensive planning and development. At the launch, our site improved. So we have a separate application that does monitor our website, had the city at about an 85 accessibility score, suggesting really good progress there. However, in understanding what these guidelines are and what it means for Cupertino, we learned that any scanning of your website to tell you how accessible it is only scanning like 30% of what accessibility items there are out there, right? There's some that are really good. It can get up to like 50, maybe a little bit more than 50%. But nothing is good as manual audits. So that's the gold standard. You have to have experts actually manually audit your site to really understand where all the issues are. So many of the key barriers, such as logical reading order, consistent keyboard navigation, clear focus indicators, and compatibility with screen readers, require a manual human-centered audit to properly evaluate.
Are there vendors who do manual audit?
Yes,
Okay.
they typically do a combination of both, the manual and scanning. As well as PDFs. So this does include our PDFs on our website. So that's pretty big because we have over 7,000 PDFs on our website. And to remediate those is a really tedious manual process. So what we understand from this level of accessibility is that we really only have to update the ones that are being viewed and looked at on a regular basis. So if they're on there and they're more archival, then you don't have to.
What do you mean by PDF? The document itself
The document
or getting
itself.
to the document?
The document itself.
Oh,
So when
wow.
we talk about the 7,000 PDFs, is it like old council minutes and
Yes.
agendas? Okay.
Yes,
Wow.
it could be, yeah,
How the document is structured and everything?
how it's structured, if there's images on there, it has to have tags explaining what that image is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
It's
images.
really detailed.
That's a lot of work.
Description is really hard.
And
Okay.
Adobe has really good built-in tools that will look at your document and tell you what issues there are and how to remediate those, but it is a pretty manual process.
Oh, wow.
So, so we just last night got approved for some funding, is basically using some savings that we had to put towards this project. So basically, we're having a vendor do an audit of our website, which includes manual and digital audit. And essentially what they're looking at is not the entire website, but essentially we have a standard, like kind of template, and there's probably about, I think we came up with about 23 of those. So once we understand what the issues are on that page, we can remediate everything that is similar to that.
Who does the remediation?
There's a number of companies.
Oh, not the employees,
Oh,
but.
no. So what we're doing is the audits, and then they'll give us a report, and that's all within a tool, like a website auditing tool. They're also gonna give us, they're gonna remediate our top 100 viewed PDFs.
Oh, they're going to do the remediation.
For the PDFs,
Okay.
100 top viewed PDFs, because that's expensive. And then they also, part of this package is staff training, because obviously any PDFs we create moving forward need to be in this accessibility, have these standards apply, as well as any applications, any videos, any dashboards, all of those things have to now have this compliance.
Oh.
Does that-
And then we
Is
are
that
also,
audio description for videos?
yes, so closed caption.
Well, no, I mean, the audible
No,
picture description.
no,
like
closed
some of
captioning
these
for
have.
videos is
Okay.
pretty much all the requirement.
Okay.
So we are, also part of this package is dedicated hours and help desk to help remediate these. But ultimately, yes, we have staff that will be doing majority of the work. And like I said earlier, our website is posted outside of us. So we only have so much control over what we can modify on our city's website. So our website itself, they've, another part of this is us, working with all of our vendors that have public facing sites, like our permitting system, our, recreational system, our 311 system, all of these things, we need to make sure that our vendors are compliant as well, right? Because if we're using them, we can be sued.
Yes.
Because that's something that we're putting that information out there, and we're asking citizens to engage with us in that way. So we are working with all of our vendors, and most of them are compliant now. Our website thankfully is compliant now, the core of it, not what we've added onto it. So there's a lot of work we have to do. just
The
to-
navigation of the website
The
is.
navigation, the images, the pictures, the colors, right? They have to, for color blindness, they have to have certain kind of, amount of separation between the colors. Anyway, so that's a lot. It's been a huge education for us to get to this point, but our goal is to have a good handle on it before April of 26. From what we understand, from all of legal and the other cities we've talked to, is that as long as you're showing you're doing your due diligence, because it's such a huge lift, if you show that you're working towards it, then your liability goes down quite a bit. So that's what we're working towards. And we just wanted to make sure you guys are aware of that.
Great.
Thank you for the update on that.
Okay.
Hey, on the topic of number 5, the working group report, do you have anything that you need to discuss and get sign off on?
I'd
before
like to
October 1st?
give updates on what's happening. We've been having bi-weekly meetings
Okay,
with Terry and Commissioner Kumar and I and Tommy.
And then,
So the last item to update is that we've agreed to move the seminar. I mean, we are calling it a seminar or a panel event. I think we should call it a cybersecurity seminar, right?
yes,
Cybersecurity seminar to October 9th.
yes,
oh, we're moving it from the 1st, okay.
yes.
Yeah, to the 9th. And we had 2 panelists that are confirmed
For the 9th,
Yes.
for the 9th.
okay,
And then Tommy is working for Erin West availability for the 9th. And then I'm working to get additional panelists as well. It's been difficult. I'm finding a lot of panelists out who are remote that would be very good for the panel, but they're remote. like Sudeep also had one panelist who was remote.
Yes.
So I think we need to make a call at some point if we are going to allow remote participation for this, for the panelists.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to discuss that as part of that subcommittee and make a decision on that at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, if we get down to it and that's all that we can get, I think we're gonna have to pull the trigger.
Right.
We're getting to the point where we really should be creating a flyer and start promoting, so we need to make a decision there.
Yeah.
You guys have any recommendations or know of anyone that would be good for this?
Commissioner Kumar took action item to approach all the commissioners
Yes.
to get input on the panelists. I don't know where he is with that at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have an upcoming meeting, I don't know.
Next week,
Next
it's on the 7th, yeah,
7th, I think we can discuss.
Yeah.
On the 7th.
yeah, hopefully maybe someone from the public safety, potentially commission might know someone.
Okay, I'll send, I mean, maybe you should send a reminder, or can I send a reminder because of that, or how does
No,
that?
I should send it, yeah.
Can you please send a reminder to
Yes,
Commissioner Kumar?
Okay.
I think I should be able to send it because it's 1:1, right?
Yes.
okay, so
Right.
you can send it?
Yeah,
You can send Commissioner Kumar an email.
Okay, so yes.
because we are part of the subcommittee.
Yes.
So,
And it's
The
just the two.
subcommittee, just the two of them can
Okay.
continue to work on
Yeah.
it. So-
Okay, then please send an email.
you want me to send the?
Yes.
Okay, I'll send the email.
Feel free to
Yeah,
continue.
that's the update.
Okay, I appreciate that.
And I would say we did move it because there is a holiday on the 1st.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What holiday
There is
the
a
first?
South Indian, pretty big South Indian festival. Like,
one?
even though I'm from South India, I didn't realize that.
Which one?
The Dashara.
It's Dashera.
Yeah, so 20 days before Diwali, it is fixed, 20 days.
I don't think my
Always
partner
before Diwali.
celebrates that one either.
It is celebrated all over India.
Yeah,
Yes, but he's not particularly good at remembering when the holidays are either.
yeah.
His
I mean,
family's from Karnataka.
No,
you have to go and get that information from typically a temple website because it's a lunar calendar.
Yeah,
So the date changes every year. So,
yeah, that's another thing. So the way I calculate it, you find out the date of Diwali 20 days before.
20. Okay, good to know.
And Diwali is this time, I think, October 20th.
yes, since it's. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, looking at number 6, the work plan. I think we're good on. I am okay with the scheduled work plan. Do either of you need to add anything to next month's meeting?
Which is-
Have we added anything to the city work plan? How is that?
So the city work plan is a biennial council item. This
Okay.
is our work plan, like our personal work plan. Our primary work plan item this year is the cybersecurity seminar.
Right, right.
If we are going to have robo taxis in cities on November 5th, we may need to do something. I don't know if we were planning on inviting someone.
I think Prabir would know. Prabir would know.
Okay. If there's any,
Waymo's now in Sunnyvale.
yes, I think that we wanted Waymo to talk about expanding from Sunnyvale to Cupertino.
Yeah,
I think even San
they
Jose
have-
is there.
Yeah, services in Sunnyvale now?
they do. They're working closely with their permitting center. They have a site that has the power for a charging station.
Mhm.
And they're working to get all the permitting set up so that they can establish it there. But we did see it over the weekend. There was a.
Oh, nice.
I saw an announcement from San Jose as well.
Okay,
It's like, we wanna get on that.
well, we
Bandwagon.
Yeah, my brother just happens to work for Waymo and he's in charge of all of their facilities. So anytime they expand, so he's constantly traveling to build out new sites for them. And so he's been working on the one in Sunnyvale. So we contacted them to say, well, come to Cupertino. We want, and at this time, they're not interested in Cupertino.
Oh. Is it because like Sunnyvale has like the downtown where they're like, oh.
I honestly,
good?
I don't know. They located a site there and they're having a hard time with the permitting there.
Maybe that's the
So,
problem,
you know-
Cupertino's permitting is sort of notoriously
Is it?
bureaucratic.
Also,
With permitting years, we don't have an established permitting for that type of.
Well, does
They-
Sunnyvale have established permitting for that?
Hello, Prabir,
Yeah, hi Terry, you can put me on speaker.
you're on
Actually,
speaker.
Waymo does not want to give a presentation because they already got the approval from county of Santa Clara.
The county of Santa Clara?
Yeah, they went one level above, just above the city level.
Well, that's.
So I
good
think
news.
what is
guess.
already approved,
Yeah.
but have not extended because they are not ready to add more cities yet.
they have the issue with the number of vehicles,
The county
right?
of Santa Clara doesn't have jurisdiction over the cities. So what does that mean? They can
Well,
go
I mean,
in.
we don't have, like, do we require a permit for this?
For the
If
city
they wanna do
roads,
something
right?
on our
Well,
property.
if they wanna build a charging station, yes.
Yes.
But if they just wanna operate the.
No,
tax-
then it is fine. Then it is fine.
Yeah, that's different.
And then who has, I mean, if they're coming on the city roads, does city have to give a permit to them?
Waymo in our Primrose, where
No, it would be the
You've seen
sheriff,
the
which is
vehicle-
why they needed the county, because we don't have a.
where I live, they come, drop people off and so on. Because when I talked to them, they said they are getting approval from the city level. So they don't want to, spend energy on city by city. But what you said is, if they get approval from county, they can operate, right? City, the county. Even though they may not set up charging station, they may not have approval to set up charging station.
Well, that was the other thing is my brother was saying that they are trying to build a network from here down to LA because they have a big station down there. So they're trying to set it up so that there are charging stations. There's a whole.
Along the
path
way,
going.
yeah.
Yeah,
But Cupertino is very small city. I'm not sure
Yes.
if they need a charging station.
especially if they have one in Sunnyvale.
Yeah, they could just go charge.
Yes, as long as the service is available in Cupertino, I'm fine. Where the charging station, is, that is their botheration. Them to.
I think they got it from the, county, because from county, once you get the approval, you can operate in any city in the county.
I believe they're limiting the number of users also because they don't have the capability to really offer a huge number.
Yeah, they are limited, so that's why they are not, if they are not going to all the cities in the Santa Clara County, that's because they don't have the resources.
Okay, this was a good discussion. I'm worried that we are now discussing non-agendized material.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, but that's the agenda item was for the.
Yes,
On the works, right? I think
yes,
you're-
we're absolutely discussing the necessity for the November 5th item, but I don't want us to get too deep.
Yeah.
And are we saying we're taking the robo taxi study off November then, or are we still?
Either
Yeah,
we keep it
because
on
what
as a
happens is,
discussion, as this discussion, or we take it
Yeah.
off.
So, what's happening is, they are like by far the leader, right? And they are able to expand like in an unlimited fashion to cities, but they don't have the resources. So I think from their point of view, they don't want to go and present to cities because, they are already getting the approval and they are already, all set, but they don't have the resources to expand. So they
We
don't
need to
have.
have this item on our work plan.
No, he's saying Prabir, you're saying we can remove this item, is that right?
Yeah.
Is it possible that we extend this invitation to other companies like Zoops?
Yeah, I reached out to Isa Evans, but she also did not say we can do the presentation. I'll ping her once more. The Juke CEO.
Okay,
And the January meeting, can we move on to the next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
The robotics technology in PW, what is that item?
I don't know, it wasn't mine. Do you remember robotic?
Public Works, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, we were gonna
Public
talk
Works.
about the robotic lawnmowers.
Uh,
We would like to invite someone from Public Works to talk
Okay.
about robotic lawnmowers.
okay, that's.
Oh, I saw one in the Blackberry Farm golf course. It keeps bothering the golfers.
one,
Golfers deserve to be bothered.
The lawnmower, robotic lawnmower.
Okay.
The other day it was sitting right in front of a, huh?
It follows them around.
No, it was sitting in front of the bunker, right? I mean, when you're playing, you can potentially hit the lawnmower and bounce off.
Okay,
Oh, this is a robot in Blackberry Farm?
yes,
The lawnmower.
lawnmower.
okay,
Okay, okay.
but next meeting, we're good for applications presentation
Yes,
and the initial impressions discussion on the new website.
yes.
All right. Okay,
Did we adjourn?
unless
One more item.
we technically have to discuss the mayor's meeting. Chair Malfonte, please remember to attend the July 16th.
No, he's not part of the meeting, so he's just public.
Regular Malfonte, please remember to attend the July 16th meeting.
The next mayoral meeting on July 16th?
Yes,
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll attend.
And when is this Economic Development Committee going to be formed and?
that's TV.
You will hear from them once your
Yes.
name goes.
All right. Now I think we can adjourn
Okay.
at 8:26.
Yes, that's great.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.